Speaking of isekai and other things that have had a long, drawn out death in zombiehood,
Yes.
we watched The Franchise.
Yes, the franchise, which they're totally not riffing on Marvel.
Nope, absolutely not. So the franchise is a show. It's an HBO original that also was streaming on Max, and I say was because unfortunately it was canceled after one season.
Yes, which yeah, I would have been mildly interested to know what happens, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it's basically the trials and tribulations of the producers and actors of a new upcoming movie for a totally fictional superhero franchise called Tecto. And I
Yes.
heard when this thing came out originally, I heard a little bit of people talking about like behind the scenes, or it is based on people's behind the scenes anonymous confessions about working at Marvel or on Marvel movies and DC movies.
Yeah, and when you watch the series, you definitely get that feeling of it um, because I mean, some of those stories have actually found their way online and on like Reddit and other places. It's like specifically like for instance the visual effects artists being overworked, which
Yeah,
definitely comes into this show.
yeah. Uh, and also just the like if you actually pay attention when they have their annual like here's our roadmap, and it's like huh, hey wait, wasn't such and such movie on the roadmap the whole time? Forget
Yeah.
you saw that.
Yeah, forget you. Yeah. Yeah, like where do you wasn't what did Captain America supposed to be fighting the Serpent Society? Shut up.
Shut up, he's fighting Red Hulk now. Shut up.
Shut up. Yeah.
Hey, what wasn't Captain America supposed to come out in 2024 as based on the McDonald's toys already launching? Shut up.
Yeah. We totally didn't reshoot the movie 3 times.
Yeah, although that might have been based on a false rumor. Definitely more reshoots than average.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so but with the show, yeah, they're filming a superhero movie called Techco, and he's uh, what would you say like the Marvel equivalent of this character would be?
I don't know. They're kind of portraying him as like a C grade hero because he's
Yeah,
like a guy who can cause earthquakes, but he also has an invisible jackhammer
yeah,
that he has to. Um,
yeah.
it's almost. I guess he'd almost be like an Ant-Man, except that the movie that they're filming doesn't seem to have the comedic charm of Ant-Man.
No, it actually feels more like one of the Thor movies.
Yeah, that could. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, the series, yeah, as DB said, it follows the trials and tribulations of them trying to make this movie, and it really centered most of the show. Like the central character is Daniel, the guy you see front and center. He's the first AD or assistant director, and he's the one basically trying to keep everybody together, and that includes stroking the ego of the movie's director, Eric, who's played by interestingly enough, played by the guy who played Baron Zemo in the MCU.
okay, that's hilarious. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's this like I hate to say he's kind of a typical like director that you would see like in like a Marvel movie now. He's basically just some guy they plucked, who like directs commercials or documentaries or
Right. And
small indie movies, and they just put
right.
him in here to do what we tell you to do.
Right. But of course he has delusions of artisthood and grandeur, then he keeps trying to change the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like in the first episode where they have all these fish people, and they've they're all made up in their prosthetic makeup and everything, and then I'll call him the Kevin Feige of the show, Pat, shows up and he says, "Oh yeah, we killed all the fish people in this other another movie that comes out before this one."
Yeah. Or it's like oh yeah, we have the jewel of maximum potency or whatever they called it, the jewel of wonder,
Yeah.
and yes, hey, the guys directing the Avengers equivalent movie saw that, they liked it, so they brought one into their movie that was like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
But that's our thing. That's showbiz, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, so the show is very has a lot of like humorous takes that are like it's obviously meant to be very satirical because it's just with the just the what's the word I'm looking for, the pitfalls of making
the pitfalls and absurdity
absurdity of making one of these movies. And you've also got the actor who plays Tetko, Adam, who I think he's supposed to be Zac Efron. I think that's kind of who they're trying to like parody.
Yeah, like where he's like he's kind of like a third string actor who's been promoted to this role, and he just isn't sure about himself at all.
Yeah, and then in one episode you find out that he and another actor who's like one of the low grade heroes makes a cameo, and you find out that the two of them were on like a teen sitcom together, and which is I think that one was supposed to be like a take on God, what was that show on Nickelodeon? Drake and Josh. I think that's what they were parodying there. But yeah, it's because because Adam is just like he's always trying to keep his body in shape, and
I think one of my favorite scenes is he's taking all sorts of weird supplements and hormones, whatever. It's like, and this one, they feed it to sheep for muscle definition, but look at my back, and like, is that hair on my back weird and white and curly? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. Wait, you think you're turning into a sheep? Yeah.
I was going to say, so the show is primarily meant as a comedy first and foremost.
Yeah.
And so I think this thing is great in the scenes where they just go into the absurdity, like things like, oh, we're destroying this historic bridge for this action scene, and how that goes awry. Or we have one shot at this amazing nighttime shot, and the director's gone all apocalypse now on us.
Yeah.
We were supposed to get Captain America to cameo in this movie, but have fun with Namor from what do you call it?
From Black Panther,
from Black Panther 2.
Yeah. And then like they're doing this. They have to do this stunt where they're being pulled on a wire, and they're like, "All right, and go," and then they're just like slowly going up.
Yeah. Let's hear. Who was the actor who played the villain again? Was it Richard E. Grant? Peter?
Richard E. Grant, yeah, and
he was definitely a highlight of it because he definitely is good at portraying a bitter, jaded actor who, on some level, would almost welcome getting canceled. He keeps trying for it.
He said, "I'm cancel proof. They're expecting me to say something really outrageous and completely, racist and sexist and all this other stuff."
It's like he's old. It's like he almost wants to go home and be with his wife, but he can't stop.
Yeah,
because sweet lady acting is too good for him, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me if if Peter, let somebody like Peter O'Toole or Richard Harris was in a superhero movie, and they would probably be acting like he acts in this movie or in this show.
Right, just like this is so beneath me.
Yeah, yeah,
And probably the funniest line is a bit where Pat, the Kevin Feige stand-in, is talking with Anita, who we haven't mentioned yet, who is Daniel, the lead character's ex and also rival.
yes,
And he goes, are we killing movies? Because I've seen the numbers. I think we are.
yeah, yeah. And they even mentioned the Martin Scorsese
Yep.
quote where he like superhero movies are destroying cinema, and there's just
Yep.
like they're like amusement park rides,
Yep. Yep. So the fact that this only got one, actually, okay, you know what? I'm going to talk about some negatives here.
Mhm.
So the actual set pieces are hilarious, like good to hilarious.
Yeah.
A lot of the dialogue when they're just standing around talking to each other, unfortunately, how to put this? There's a great video that I recommend people watch, even if they disagree with it, called Millennial Writing,
Mm.
that kind of goes into a lot of downfalls of a lot of modern Western media productions. The kind of, well, that was a thing, and using curse words as the punchline.
Yeah.
Uh, the show definitely falls into that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, there are a couple of moments here or there where I'm kind of like okay,
Oh.
this
Diagram that dialogue for me. Where was the actual joke in that?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like okay, the person who wrote this episode watched too many episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, Joss Whedon's greatest crime wasn't his escapades; it was destroying a generation of dialogue writers.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of this lack of humor, in my opinion, there are two characters who it kind of focuses on the most. Dag, who is Daniel, she's the one on the left there, who is Daniel's assistant director.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, she just like very rarely funny. I think it's just because she is that millennial writer.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
other, and actually, both assistants are kind of comedy voids.
Yeah, like you're the director's assistant who's not pictured in the poster, but yeah, there's a whole subplot with her and one of the extras where they're like in a romantic relationship, which I thought was very cringe.
Yeah, and which is sad because that assistant actually, and until they introduced that side plot, he actually had one of the funnier running gags. Like, just he was getting married and things kept going wrong. Like, hey, honey, yeah, shaved, yeah, eyebrows and all. Oh, honey, please don't cry,
Yeah.
because he's having to like change costumes.
Yeah.
They also have a funny bit where they give a woman who just wants to get out of these movies a magical artifact that makes all the fanboys hate her and want to kill her, including
Yeah.
her own pediatrician.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because they have a woman problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the actress in there, there's like she's sitting back and because she's like, oh, I'm sitting this way because the tears flow down my eyes and it doesn't ruin my makeup.
yeah. She's like a mix of Brie Larson and what's her name who played Wanda,
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah. Um. So yeah. Now again, this is a very filthy show.
Oh
So,
yeah.
or at least filthy language. I would not tell my mother to watch. I, I would. Yeah, I probably wouldn't tell her to watch it because she can tolerate that sometimes. So I think this would go too far. Um, I can also see why this didn't end up getting a second season because it's very insider baseball.
Mhm.
Oh, it occurs to me, we actually kind of left out the main character in his plot, which I think is kind of telling because Daniel himself is almost never a very funny character.
No, he's trying to be the straight man.
Right. And so he's very easy to kind of forget, even though he's really the focal point of the show,
Yeah.
because he would really, if he had his druthers, he would just usurp the director and take over.
Yes. Yeah. Which he actually does in certain points.
Yep. Because like he actually cares about these characters and the lore in the comics, and he just wants to go in there and make a good movie. So he is kind of the audience surrogate that way.
Yeah, yeah, and I like the part where they're talking about the invisible jackhammer, and he's like, "I hate the invisible jackhammer. I hated it when in the comic books. I don't know why we have it in the movie."
Right, because that's a very fanboy type of opinion to have. If you put me in charge of DC or Marvel with no restrictions, there are things that I would probably change that would make other fanboys angry.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah. But so overall, I don't regret my time with it. It does end on a cliffhanger uh, that will never be resolved. So just go in knowing that.
Yeah.
It's not like a 10 out of 10. Like this isn't a new Simpsons equivalent, or this isn't a new what's another this isn't a I wasn't this isn't laughing at like a third rock from the sun or something like that.
No, it's or The Office or something like that. It's Parks and Rec, I think another one. It's very much a yeah, it's a decent enough comedy, and if you're in the know, and even in the slightest when it comes to the Marvel movies and their and the production of those movies, you'll definitely get something out of this show.
Yep. And if even if you don't know about it, hey, maybe it'll inspire you to take a deep dive.